Everybody knows what the Cold War was like. It was a war between the US and the USSR, and all they were trying to do is surpass one another. In the 45 years that the Cold War went on, these two superpowers spent trillions of dollars to win the race. The US had the Soviets surrounded, and that is why the Russians really wanted to make themselves more powerful. But they were also looking for alternatives as well. They said, if the US wants to destroy our country, we're gonna have an after death button. And that means after we're gone, we can destroy them as well. They named this key Mrtvaya Ruka, dead hands. In the year 1981, when Ronald Reagan became the US president, he was very much more anti-communist than the previous presidents. And he believed whatever the US does, they have to make sure the Russians are scared and do things that paralyzes them, produce more nuclear weapons, and perform exercises close to the Russian border. In the year 1983, Ronald Reagan showed the world the Star Wars program. Basically, what this program was designed to do is any ballistic missile that went out of space to go anywhere from the Russians, the Americans would destroy it in space. The Soviets are struggling. Ronald Reagan's plan is working, and since the Russians were nervous, they were looking for new ways to get out of this. They basically tell themselves, if the West wants to destroy us, we gotta perform the Dead Hand Project. And that means even if we're destroyed, a dead hand comes along and launches all of our nuclear weapons. In the year 1985, the Dead Hand Project started in the Soviet Union. But we have to tell you that there's no dead hand involved. This dead hand has to be a person that knows the code. And even if they put the code in, the machine is not going to accept it yet. It has to run a few tests. First, it checks the air pressure. It checks the radioactivity in the area. Then it checks the air density. These tests are performed by all the USSR bases around Russia. They're designed in a way that they're not just going to launch with one password. If this code is activated, an automatic signal is sent to the commander's office, and it tells them that we're ready to launch. If there's no answer from the commander's base, the dead hand does what it was supposed to do. This system didn't start. But when it does start, it wants to end the world, because it doesn't just launch one rocket. It launches every available ballistic nuclear missile that the Russians had ready for it. And you could say that Ronald Reagan's Star Wars program made the Soviets so scared that they came up with this type of plan. And it's good to know that Mrtvaya Ruka, or dead hands, until the day the Soviet Union fell, was a top secret project. And you could say only the higher ups and commanders knew about something like this. The Russian higher ups were scared that this thing would leak out, and the people and the army would worry that their country is failing and basically lose hope. After the Berlin Wall had fallen, conspiracy theorists came out of nowhere. They would tell different types of stories about the dead hands, and they would say that this system is gonna launch very soon. And it's good to know that this was a top secret project, but somehow these conspiracy theorists knew about it. And you could say the conspiracy theorists back then were actually true, because dead hands was actually a real thing. You could say some of the generals couldn't keep their mouths shut. All this passed until the year 2009. In that year, a Russian that's ran by Putin announced that dead hands is a real thing and it's still active. After the day Putin said that our nuclear weapons are always ready to launch, anytime the reporters would ask about such a thing, the Russians would never give a straight answer. Some people say that no system like this actually exists, and Putin is just bluffing that he has something like this activated. They also call this system the Doomsday device, and that means when it's activated, the world is gonna end. And that makes sense because the Russians have the most nuclear weapons in their arsenal. They say the Russians have about 3,000 to 4,000 nuclear weapons. Valery Yarenich is a person that used to live in the Soviet Union, and he actually worked on the Dead Hands program. This guy that no longer lives in Russia says that this system is only activated when the entire country is messed up and it has been attacked with nuclear weapons. So it won't activate just because. And you could say it will be activated when there is zero hope left in the entire country. And the US has never said a thing in return about the Dead Hands program. Another thing about this program is that the central location of this system is in the Ural Mountains of Russia, and it has been there since the Soviet Union. After the Ukraine war started, there's a lot of talk about this system, and if the Russians lose hope, they might activate it. But I don't know how they will actually activate it. What do you guys think?